How much Bitcoin do you need to retire? This is the question we are answering today. And if you stay till the end of the video, you will have a complete plan how to do it and how to retire earlier, much earlier than you thought. So let's jump into the video. We've just recently seen a tweet from Robert Kiyosaki where he is mentioning again how easy it is to make money with Bitcoin. You may know that he is a big gold bug, so he was invested in gold many times, but he switched over now. He is also in the Bitcoin camp and he is trying to get the word out. What he's saying here is you just need basically 0.01 Bitcoin to retire. And we will take a look in very detail if this is true. I will show you a calculator that you can use to basically calculate when you can retire. You can put in all the numbers and go through that. But before we do that, we need to understand the basics. Why can these numbers work? This is why I prepared a presentation for you. Let's have a look at the presentation. The presentation is titled Retiring with 0.01 Bitcoin. Is it possible? And it does not seem possible, or it does not sound that it is believable. But let's have a look. You will see that it is actually possible if you are following what I'm going to tell you. So we need to understand Bitcoin growth first. How can it happen? Why can it happen? We need to look at the CAGR. This is the growth rate basically of Bitcoin. Early years 2009 to 2015, Bitcoin CAGR was 800%. I mean by that the growth rate, the yearly growth rate of Bitcoin is 800%. Next, we have the middle period, which is from 2015 to 2017. Then we had a little minimized growth period. As you see in the presentation, here we had 600 to 700%. From 2017 to 2024, we had 200 to 300%. It is going down. And the all-time average CAGR is 195. This is important so we can input valuable or we can input real data into our calculator later to really have an accurate calculation. I just wanted to give you a rough idea how this can look like, but we're still missing some important factors. You have a CAGR here from 30 to 50, which is a conservative estimate. This includes that you have institutional adoption going on like it is now. It also includes a little headwinds from regulatory compliance and SEC and so on. I'm not sure if we still see headwinds in Bitcoin, but this is just to include this as well. So traditional stock, this would be like the traditional stock market is performing now. So the tech stocks having a CAGR between 30 and 50%. A moderate estimate would be a CAGR between 75 and 100. This reflects the Bitcoin movement at the moment that we have seen, all the adoption and so on, consists halving supply constraints. We have a halving cycle every 4 years, Bitcoin halving. The supply is cut in half. There will be much more demand, but less supply, and this will help the Bitcoin price to rise. There is mainstream adoption involved into this calculation. And the bullish estimate is 150 to 200 CAGR following historical averages and predicting institutional FOMO. Companies will come in, other institutions will buy it, put it on a balance sheet and so on. We need to talk about inflation rates as well. Inflation rates are very, very important. You see here in 2014, we have inflation rates always around 5%. Here it goes 5%, here a little higher. Then suddenly 2021, 2022, it rises up around to 14%. Then it comes down here again. And then we are here in 24, basically at around 6%. If you look at the Fed data, if you look at other data, they will tell you the inflation rate in 2025 now is around 2.6 or something. I would not believe that too much. Now, as you know, they have this inflation rates excluding almost everything. So I'm calculating with an inflation rate of 10%. This brings us to the point why you actually should hold Bitcoin and not other assets. On this slide, we see why it is so important to be in Bitcoin and not in some other asset. The S&P 500 has a yearly growth rate about 10.4%. The Nasdaq is around 14%. I think gold is about 3%, and Bitcoin is at 124% at the moment. For the last 10 years, this is the average growth rate. So it's very important to understand that if you hold the S&P, you are hardly you're hardly breaking even with the inflation. So you don't make any money, you don't lose any money. If you are in the tech stocks, if you're in the Nasdaq, you make around 4%. So this is positive. If you are in gold, you're losing money on this metric. Of course, it's still a good store of value for the future, possibly, but Bitcoin is outperforming them massively. One more factor we need to look at is the supply. If the supply goes down because of the Bitcoin halving, the price usually will skyrocket. We have so much demand now that it has to skyrocket. We will not look at this slide in very detail. We will jump to the calculator in a second. It's just for you that you have some more information here in the slide. I will head over here and share my screen. Let's have a look, share my screen and show the Bitcoin retirement calculator to you. Here we have the Bitcoin retirement calculator, and you have the opportunities to put in your numbers. So in this case, we can reset the calculator if we want. So I will reset the calculator so we have the numbers they believe are good starting numbers to get here going and calculate our retirement age. If you are, for example, let's say 35, the life expectancy is 86. We can just leave that how it is at the moment. Here they have 0.50, but we want to calculate it with 0.01 as the video is all about that. You can put in estimated buying. If you plan to buy like still $1,000 of Bitcoin per month, then you could just put in here 10,000 or 12,000, whatever. If you can do it like every month, so put in 12,000. Price annual growth. This is why it was so important for us to actually look at the CAGR, how much it's growing. Here they take 20%, which is actually too low. So let's have a quite conservative estimate with 50%. This means like Bitcoin will annually grow 50%. We have confirmed this with the CAGR. They have an inflation rate here of 2%, which is probably not accurate. So I also want to put in the 10% here. But for now, let's have a look here. I have put here the current age with 35. My current retirement age would be 43, and I would be able to take out 120,000 per year. Here is all the breakdown that you need to know. Bitcoin price when you retire would be 2,811,667. Here you see the current Bitcoin price and a retirement budget. This is the same as here, but just calculated in Bitcoin. Monthly retirement budget would be here. So you have a very good estimate about that. It's an optimized calculation. If you switch it here to conservative, you will see that actually retirement age dropped to 50, but I prefer to leave it on the optimized. Let's have a look now how the numbers actually changing if I put in different numbers here, because this is of course not accurate. I tried with 10% and have a look how the numbers change. You saw the numbers changed 2 years already. If I put in the 10%, the numbers of the retirement change to 44. which is still fine, I would say. If we change other numbers, let's, for example, change the CAGR to 70, which is still an okay number, then the retirement age changes to 42. You can also say, I just need 100,000, and then it would be 42, or you need 1 million, then it would be 47. You can play around with that very nicely. And I understand it doesn't look very accurate, or it almost looks much too good to be true. If you look at the breakdown here, you will actually see how it's calculated. 2026, age 36. The Bitcoin price is 186,500. You have $15,000 in savings. You see the savings Bitcoin, you see the flows, you see the annual budget, and it goes down here. Let's check out 2030. Here, age 40. We have already a Bitcoin price of 1,557, so 1,557,000. If you don't believe these prices, check out my video that I link on top. We have talked about where the Bitcoin price will go. We have talked about all the estimates. So this is actually accurate. This is like an average calculation for 2030. And if we go down even further, 2040, it's calculated with a lot of millions, as you see here. I hope you enjoyed the video.